positive all season. But it's just fraying around the edges of their goal circle.
Well, it's Phoenix by 4. Make it 5. And yet they've turned the ball over 4 more times. So now the stats, as we mentioned, pretty even. So the Thunderbirds might be lucky to be this close at this stage. It'd be foolish to write anyone off so early in the game, though. But, Adelaide with a few things to address. Southby, Benison. Southby. Won't go, but McMahon's there for the strong rebound. Just hung in the air.
Well, she held great position. She did a work on the ground early to give her space to go up and contest that in the air. So fine work from young Sherelle McMahon.
Squire goes for the captain, Harvey. Delaney.
Offside centre, free pass, Thunderbirds.
Dick, offside. Sanders.
Yep.
Bumps her away. Oh, that was a tough task for Purser.
Well, the offload was far too casual from Delaney. The match is tight and the spaces have to be earned. And when you've got feeders, the skill of Sanders and Cobb on the outside, let them work the spaces for you.
Contact, goalkeeper, pass or shot.
And that one lifts Jackie Delaney to just above 50%. 4 have gone in and 3 haven't.
Southby.
Burnage, contact.
Dick to McMahon. Benison.
Holding a goal defender. Goal defender, you are holding a skirt. Back there.
Holding a skirt against Harvey.
Obstruction. Burnage,
these defenders, I don't know. Probably all sorts of sneaky things to do. So 7 minutes left, second quarter. Delaney picks up Purser a little more easily this time, and Purser gets a quick one. They need a few on him.
That last one putting the rhythm back into the Thunderbirds game. And maybe the chance now to make the belated run we're so used to.
Well, Harvey's been on the end of... well, a shirt front from McMahon.
I don't think there's much doubt about that one. Even you and I would have picked that.
Yeah. Certainly heard Harvey hit the floor.
Cobb. Centre. Wing attack, contact, Thunderbirds penalty. Wing attack.
How important for Thunderbirds to look after this one. They've been down by as many as 5. It's back to 3 now. And 2 if Delaney scores. But there's one against Purser off the ball. That does not count. McInnes, McMahon.
Sanders not allowing Ingrid Dick to land, so that call going against Rebecca Sanders.
Benison. Southby.
Contact centre.
Southby.
Contact the arm. Shot or pass.
Shot coming up for Eloise. 21 years old. 187 centimetres. And of course from a family of great sporting pedigree. Her dad a great footballer for Carlton. Many years, as most Melbourne Victorian people would know. Harvey goes down once more, looks to the umpire, and Nola Callan's not going to help her out this time. Harvey left wondering why. Benison. At Taverner. Southby, really lost it. Anyway, turnover. Harvey back to Sutter. Oh, Squire can't get that. I was all set to catch that.
Oh, sure.
Floor manager didn't think I could. She was going to get it. Sanders, Purser.
Oh, good work. McInnes smothering the feed. She sagged right back from it, halfway between the feed and the circle.
Oh, and again, that's for nobody. It's in between Delaney and Sanders. So by that time, it was Cobb making the little error of judgment.
Contact, Phoenix penalty.
Just not quite got the timing as they would like. Thunderbird. Oh, and Ingrid Dick is all right.
Contact, shuttle pass.
Foot went from under it. Just injuries are on our mind with what's happened in recent weeks to both Carissa Toms and Sue Kenny. We just do not need to see another one. 2.5 left until the main break. That's from Harvey, nearly joins the commentary team. She's up and away. Delaney. And Lynch. Ingrid Dick. Back to Simone McInnes. Taverner back to Lynch.
Good mid-court pressure from the Thunderbirds are holding up Melbourne's progress down court. That contact call, though, against Audine Cobb releases the pressure, immediately takes her out of the press formula.
Phoenix by 3. McMahon. Southby.
A great lean from Sarah Sutter. Forces the offload. But they're too good on the backup, Melbourne Phoenix.
And they can take it out to 5 again. Benison. Just so strange to hear a hall so full, so quiet. A gentle cheer goes up.
They're busy watching.
Delaney to Cobb to Purser.
In fact, they're possibly taking notes.
Purser. Out she goes. And into the last minute. So by 4, Phoenix, they're up by 2 at quarter time. So steady performance from them. They've been leading by as many as 5. Thunderbirds start to peg them back. And they just hold them, if not at arm's length, then by a couple of goals. So Sanders to Cobb, Delaney. Lynch. There's probably time enough if they're quick. McMahon. Use the width of the court to find Taverner. Southby.
Wing defender.
Holding call against Peter Squire brings up her 8th penalty of the match.
Well, they knew what they were doing there, Melbourne Phoenix. The timekeeper did not get up. They just carefully constructed that goal, but now we've got Sanders with a minor injury. So there's only about 7 or 8 seconds left in the quarter, so we've got an injury.
The timekeeper actually had left the timekeeper's bench, so it was under 10 left. She's making a beeline for Sharon Burge, with whom she has to run shoulder to shoulder as she delivers her final call. But Sanders beat her to it.
To Benison.
Well, Melbourne will know they have to play it quickly to the circle, but not quick enough.
They need a little miracle there to get an extra one, but they'll be well pleased, as Southby seems to be, with what they've done in that second quarter. Look at the stats from the first half, and the bottom there, look at the score straight away, set the thing straight. 28-22. Penalties even, intercepts not much in that. 4 more turnovers against Phoenix. They put up 4 more attempts and lead it by 6. Thunderbirds in possession as we start the second half. Alex Hodge at wing attack for the Thunderbirds. So it's a brave coach indeed who drags an Australian player, but Audine Cobb, well, I'm sure it's fresh in the mind of Mark Ango that Hodge had a great game on McInnes when they last played, but as we have mentioned, McInnes was not 100% that day.
And I was going to say I've yet to see Simone McInnes have 2 bad games back-to-back. I was going to say I don't really think I've seen her put in a bad game, but I'm sure that's prompted the change, and I think brave is the word.
Perhaps Mark Ango felt she had to do something.
Just looking at the shooting stats, Jackie Delaney still floundering on 54% for the Thunderbirds with 6 from 11. Fine shooting, though, from both Purser and Southby. 90% for Sharon Purser for the Thunderbirds, and Southby with 14 from 16. Impressive too, Sherelle McMahon. So the Phoenix with the luxury of 2 shooters well on strike for them in this match.
McInnes to Lynch.
The move of McInnes important then, not just to receive the ball, but to drag 2 defenders to the near side of the court and to open up the far side. And that's so much a pattern of their attacking play.
Contact against Sutter. I don't think she liked that one.
Now that was a what have I got to do stance.
And Harvey pleading that that was off Melbourne. Sharon Burge having none of it.
And the warning comes out against Jackie Delaney from Sharon Burge.
So Melbourne, little stop-start passage here as whistle rules the match. Fennison, McMahon. Held ball against McMahon. Harvey rolls the left ankle.
It was great pressure from Kath Harvey, but pays a penalty for her effort. And Sarah Sutter in back play is saying, I have to change my shoes, so they may well be using their full allocation of time.
Watch what happens to Harvey here.
Well, she really works the shot well, and as she falls in, comes off the right foot of Sherelle McMahon.
Sutter. Harvey continues. One tough cookie. Harvey will play through an injury as well as anyone can. Squire.
Well, Steve, I said this match was measured in the first quarter. I'm going to go further. I think the Thunderbirds are lackluster. I think the edge just off for them in this match as Purser tries to lift.
Well, she was on the end of a flying Alex Hodge. It looked good. Can they build on that? Sanders, Hodge. Delaney back to Hodge. Purser.
Taverner's been doing some great groundwork on Delaney. Flies at the feed from the outside then to allow Delaney room, but she's really held up Delaney in her court work.
Fennison. Of course, Phoenix have Susan Howie on the bench. If they want to put some fresh legs in the centre court and lose nothing. Quick outlet to Sanders. Hodge goes the other ways. Back to Sanders when Delaney was offered. Now Jackie has it.
All alone and finishes with a swisher.
Now Thunderbird centre pass here, and they've pulled it back to 4. It looks a little better. Hodge. Purser. Hodge to Delaney. Yeah, there was a contact from Lynch. Delaney needs this, and she's suddenly looking a little more confident. And what was a 7-goal lead a minute or 2 ago, it's back to 3. 2 back on McMahon. Out she comes to escape that defence. Southby.
That was a neat snatch from McMahon. Not too much space to work with it, and she knew she was under pressure from the flying Sutter.
Delaney. Oh, that's neat to Hodge. Well, they look a little crisper, and the Thunderbirds. And Purser's got the majority of the goals.
Well, you have to worry when they're not at their best, yet they are staying in the match. This has been a lid on them until now. Now they're starting to open up.
Hodge is quick. I mean, so is Cobb. I don't know what the difference has been. You want to tell me?
I can't tell you the difference. Hodge is a different type of speed. She's more an explosive player, stronger, whereas Audine Cobb is more your slippery fast kind of player, but certainly injecting something around the circle. Sanders connects with Hodge at full stretch, and she puts the cut and drive past McInnes. They go cross court, go to open up the circle, and Delaney takes it in full flight and nails it.
all tied up at 36s. Delaney. Ingrid Dick, Taverneau. And back. McInnes, the skipper. Bennison.
Contact centre.
Against Sanders on her opposite number.
Advantage obstruction.
McMahon.
The little stutter to draw. Sarah Sutter does the trick.
Phoenix back in front by 1.
Advantage obstruction, goal attack.
McInnes. To Bennison, sorry.
Ingrid Dick using Simone McInnes to give herself the drive to the circle.
Hold goal defence. Disarm.
Well, she's nothing else if not passionate, Catherine Harvey. She certainly doesn't leave you wondering what she's thinking.
So Harvey is being put in exactly the right spot to Sharon Burge's satisfaction. Sanders. Phoenix by 2 again. Oh no. That was a little more desperate than it needed to be. No timekeeper up. We are inside the last minute of the quarter. McInnes. Ingrid Dick to Taverneau. Wrenches it away from Delaney.
Well, Delaney having a touch of that ball before she recovered her 3-foot distance. Oh!
Sutter said, I'll have that. And still, I'd say this time, no timekeeper yet. Yes, there is. Purser from the baseline. And they've turned it over. Bad one from Thunderbirds, at least as far as the timing goes. McMahon. No. Even if it fell, it wouldn't have. So it's Phoenix by 2. 38-36. Anybody's match. Game comeback from the Thunderbirds after they were down by 7 to draw level and in fact got in front for a moment. But now it's Phoenix by 2 with a quarter to go. So the only new player on court for the last quarter, Susan Howie, gets it going. So replacing Ingrid Dick. She is quick. She is an experienced player, even at the international level, under 21s.
In fact, captain of the Australian 21s, a victorious junior team that won World Cup last year, World Youth Cup.
Can she help Phoenix wrap it up? No.
Just looking at the shooting stats. Strong work from the Thunderbird shooter Sharon Purser with 25 from 29 at 86%, and also from the Phoenix goal attack, Sherelle McMahon at 87%. Eloise Southby has been consistent, 18 from 25. And as we noted during that third quarter, Jackie Delaney starting to come into her own. She was 50%. She's lifted to 63, 12 from 19.
Well, early miss from Purser we saw a few seconds ago, and was a poor one from her. Barely skimmed the ring. Should be hoping that's not a sign of things to come in this last quarter, as Phoenix give themselves a little bit of breathing space. Out by 4. I wonder if that challenge from Thunderbirds took much out of them in that third quarter when they came back from 7 down to draw level, and in fact were in front for a moment or two. Often that takes a fair bit out of a side.
What it should do is give them the confidence that they are still well and truly in this game and that they can make up a 4 or 5 goal deficit.
Phoenix get the first 3 of the last quarter. Telling little stanza for them, perhaps. Hodge back out to Delaney. Taverneau out of the circle, but Lynch says, I'll have that.
Well, that was loosely out of the hands of Jackie Delaney. It was slow on the release, and it gave a lot of time for Lynch to have a look at the ball.
Goes for a little ginger on it. Delaney takes it back. Sanders, Purser.
Advantage obstruction.
No, can't keep it in. Sharon Purser kicks the advertising hoarding away in disgust as much as couldn't help it.
Contact goal attack.
Contact Delaney.
Advantage causing shooter.
Bennison. Taverneau. Southby.
Southby putting the leads on outside the circle, but the Thunderbirds defenders electing to stay back in the circle and work a 2-on-1 on the shooter closer to the post.
And Melbourne giving off the early signs, and that they have recomposed, as Southby rides a luck with that nice rebound.
I think organisers will be rubbing their hands together at the prospect of a Melbourne team straight through into the grand final at the Melbourne Glasshouse, and the possibility of Adelaide having to slog it out next week in Adelaide against the Sydney Swifts.
McMahon. Oh, gee. Everybody read that, I'm afraid. Both defenders were onto it, but contact drawn, and they got away with it. Southby grabs the 20th. Delaney. And the Thunderbirds have taken 3.5 minutes to get their first of the last quarter. Benison.
Sarasota relinquishing front position to Eloise Southby, who's starting to look quite comfortable.
Southby did not play the last time these sides met in round 12. She was unwell, as was half of Melbourne, I think.
That last feed from Hodge into Purser took the wrong pathway. She used the bounce ball to get around Lynchburn, and in fact the space was behind Purser towards the baseline.
Harvey and McMahon in the same 5 square centimetres. They'll know each other pretty well by the end of this game, but may not be swapping addresses.
And Susan Howie to Southby, who puts it on the drive to McMahon, who suffers a how do you do from Kath Harvey.
Well, that's quite a lead Phoenix now enjoy. Out by 9. Biggest lead of the match. And the penalties now going heavily against the Thunderbirds, 62 to 44. That happened quite quickly.
Steve, 16 of those penalties against Peter Squire.
Against Taverner. Hodge. Purser. Purser's still only missed 5 for the game. She's had a solid effort in goals. Southby. Benison. Swings around. Very balletic.
First. Outside. Outside.
Learning that there were 17 penalties against Peter Squire, and just trying to check cross-reference to Simone McInnes, her similar number on opposing team, and just the 7 against her as Sharon McMahon brings up her 25th goal. That, of course, when you're able to play that many times, releases the wing attack into a cut-and-drive situation, so they get quick access to the circle with the wing defence out of play, putting more pressure on.
Putting up a few low percentage feeds, Thunderbirds, and against quality defenders like Sutter and Harvey. Against Lynch and Taverner, sorry. And no, you're not going to come down with all of them. Southby to Howie.
Bernie just side.
Benison.
And obstruction.
McMahon. That's pretty scrappy down there. Melbourne will be pleased to get away from there with this goal. And by 10. Phoenix led the competition, of course, for much of the year. Only got overtaken in the last couple of rounds by Thunderbirds. And there'd be, in the minds of some at least, some justice in Phoenix going first through to the grand final. Didn't finish as minor premiers, but sheer weight of possession of the lead would suggest that they deserve to be there.
And Steve, Norma Plummer using Susan Howie as fresh legs. Sanders has run a strong, hard game, and I think Plummer using Howie to try and give them another kick along in this final quarter. Ingrid Dick having a solid game, but I'm sure some freshness making a difference now on court for the Melbourne Phoenix.
Sutter and Harvey between them come up with the rebound. Phoenix by 11, halfway through the last quarter. High ball, Sanders to the corner. Lynch, well, it was almost intended for it. The understanding and timing has gone from the Thunderbirds attack for the moment. Southby.
Very good understanding between Howie and Southby, and I think we're seeing that now as the two young players work a double play to progress Southby closer to the post.
Advantage breaking goal attack.
Sutter.
Lines its contact.
Phoenix leading this quarter 12-2.
Centre out of play.
Oh, the Thunderbirds are gone here. And they've got the second chance, which is what both Norma Plummer and Marg Angove were hoping for, in case this kind of match came to either of them, and it looks to have come to Thunderbirds. And of course, a big advantage for them playing next week at home. Southby, Norma Plummer. I think it's too much away. Delaney, Sanders. Ooh, it was a rocket. Slowed down by Purser, caught by Hodge, and Delaney has it back now. Still hot, that ball. Doesn't look like a losing coach, Margango, but I think she's going to be. Under 6 to go. Needs to haul in 2 goals a minute.
Instruction, both players out.
Not done against quality opposition. McMahon. Stayed up there in age. Sutter time to lead best. Squire and McInnes having, well, almost needless to say, a much better game than in round 12. Hodge. Purser gets another offensive rebound. Isn't that offensive? I should say offensive, I suppose, but it's the American pronunciation. It just sometimes comes out wrong.
Offside centre, Phoenix free pass.
Still find it hard to bring myself to say offensive and defensive. Don't you, Anne?
I'm leaving that right to you.
Taverner, especially for an ABC audience.
Contact goal attack.
51-40. Penalties now 71-47 against the Thunderbirds. Have not pleased Nola Calman and Sharon Burge. Southby.
Instruction.
So Southby and McMahon having a pretty even share of the goal scored. Sharon Purser having something to say to Sharon Burge. Well, I don't think it was. Isn't it interesting that we share a first name? McInnes, Benison, Southby, and Howie.
Southby has had a good game against Sarasota. She's really opened up some space, and she's made it pay by stealing front position for the majority of the time. Benison puts it via the boards. They swing it across to Howie, and it's kept alive by McMahon, hauling it in well from off the baseline.
So it's Melbourne by 12. Reminding you that the Thunderbirds beat Melbourne by 13 a few weeks back. So tables turned.
Offside, free pass.
Southby goes to Howie.
And that was a smart pass from Susan Howie into her long-time teammate and friend Eloise Southby. She applauds the feed.
Throw-in Thunderbirds. Goal third.
Unusual little moment there. Delaney, McMahon and the ball. Riding into that comedy skip. Hodge.
Hodge forced to put it cross court. No offers coming from either of the Adelaide Thunderbird shooters.
I think back in round 12, and when we watched the teams play and they were both down by about the same number of players, we made the observation that perhaps Melbourne were worse affected by the players they were missing, and that seems to have been borne out here. 2.5 minutes to go in the match. Phoenix by 12.
Contact.
Harvey giving 100% as always. Hodge. Sanders needs to be quick. She is, but ball had a lead on it.
Yep. Play.
Taylor. McInnes.
Contact, wing attack.
Here's Howie.
Danny, just so. Oh, goalkeeper, shuttle pass. That's it.
Southby. Well, this is going to be something for Adelaide to go away and worry about. They'll worry only about half of it next week, because they won't run into Phoenix at best for a fortnight. Look like they're facing Sydney Swifts next week. To consider their performance as much as their own. Howie. McMahon, Benison. Sutter. Back to Squire. And the Sydney fans at the State Sports Centre, after what's been intriguing but a longish night for them, have decided, well, there's only going to be one result here, and a few of them are leading. And they'll get away from the venue a lot quicker than they got in, I think. A few traffic problems early. And smiles now on the faces of Melbourne Phoenix players inside the last minute. And the lead out to 15. An emphatic win for Melbourne Phoenix. Given a great run for their money early. Running this way, they won the second quarter 14-10. They've done a fair bit better than that in the last. 19-6 at the moment. Make it a 20-goal quarter. With this one, they do. Time for one more, they say. Let's have it. Benison has had a great game. An offside play from Sanders, slows it down. And that's all they'll be, but that's quite a win for Melbourne Phoenix. A fairly solid effort across the game. A run in the third quarter that temporarily gave the Thunderbirds the lead. Maybe it did take something out of them, but 58-42 to Melbourne Phoenix, and they're straight into the grand final. Adelaide to go round again next week against the Swifts. Well, problems for Margang Gove and the Adelaide Thunderbirds, and they've got to set it right pretty quickly. Swifts will go to Adelaide pretty enthusiastic. Look at some stats from that match. Saxon Howie is pretty joyful on it. 77 penalties against the Thunderbirds, 50 against Phoenix. And they were even for a majority of the match, but heavy count in the last quarter and a bit against the Thunderbirds. Intercepts 12 grabbed by Phoenix to 8. Turnovers pretty even. More possession of Phoenix. They had 14 more attempts and they won it by 16, so they were more accurate with what they had. And the final score 58-42. An emphatic win. And I think Simone McInnes ought to be justly proud of her team. She's talking with Anne Sargent.
Thanks, Steve. Well, Simone, congratulations. You're into the 1997 grand final, but you wouldn't have been breathing until that last quarter.
No, it was a great last quarter from us. I think we stood up strong in the third quarter when they came back at us and pulled back the 6 goals or so. So I was really happy with the way we got strong back into for the last quarter to finish off the match.
The Sydney crowd certainly made both of you play it out. They sat back and watched, didn't they?
They did. I mean, hopefully it was a great game for them to watch too, but that was great atmosphere as well. They were really supporting the game right throughout.
What do you think turned the corner for you in that final quarter?
Well, I think we took the risk in bringing on Susan Howie into the centre because we perhaps got a little bit stagnant in the third quarter. Didn't have the movement and the flow coming in down court. I think that paid off for us. We sort of lifted ourselves again and got a lot more movement down court. And I think we stood strong and controlled when there were times when it was getting a bit out of control, some of the plays. So I think we stood nice and strong and finished it out well.
Well, you've got a home crowd come 2 weeks' time in Melbourne. How do you see next week's match in Adelaide going, just quickly?
I don't care. I'm just glad it's not us that's playing. That's all I can say.
Well, you're selfish, but congratulations.
Thanks, Anne.
A big last quarter from Melbourne Phoenix, taking them all the way to the grand final. Who will they meet? Well, next Friday night, the match to decide who plays Melbourne Phoenix in the grand final is between Adelaide Thunderbirds